Hi, I'm Ebony.
And I'm Queena.
Today we're going to Cobden and it's currently 11 degrees right now. It's really cold.
Our flight is 1 hour and 20 minutes long. We're going go-karting, so it's going to be really cold.
Probably also going to get something to eat, so we'll take you along with us every step of the way.
We've got cameras all over the plane to show you what we've been up to. Arrived in Cobden.
The flight was around 1 hour.
And we're about to interview the people that live at Cobden.
We're going to have so much fun today and we'll bring you along.
Yeah, we're so excited to go go-karting and maybe mini train riding.
Ebony?
I'm Queena.
Queena. How are you? Done.
Thanks for having us here today. Can you tell us a bit about yourselves?
Well, yes, I'm born and bred here in Cobden, and I got into aviation in about 1976. I've been flying since then and got a bit more heavily involved once this strip here got opened in about 1991, somewhere around that.
Yeah, I'm Peter. I've been involved with the strip from day one as well. I lived and bred and born in the area, a dairy farmer here. I run an agricultural business out of here. We've got a loading pad up the northern end of the airstrip there. It's a sealed loading pad for us to load our ag aircraft. The northern pad for loading, and then we've also got the helipad which the Aero Club put in for patient transfer for HEMS for emergency services. And then we've got this little pad just to the north of us here, and that's for loading our firebombing aircraft, which we bring down when it was used. Cobrigo fires, St Patrick's Day fires, 2008.
2018. So I'm Jo Bidds, I'm a local councillor, born and bred here as well, and I can remember growing up when Duncan mentioned about, I think the airstrip was here before 1990, because I can remember when we had what we called an air pageant. And when I got on council, which would have been almost 15 years ago, I became the council representative on this airstrip committee because it is an asset of Queena Shire Council.
Can you tell us a little bit more of the Cobden Aerodrome upgrade?
Yes, Ebony, we might have the year on thing out there, but we got some funding to seal the strip, which is what you see there now. Since then, we've also, as a committee here for the Airport Committee of Management, have developed a master plan, which is all in here, about what we would like to see happen now.
How does the master planning process come about?
One of those has been renewable energy is a big thing in the area that we're in here in the southwest Victoria, and probably 8 years ago maybe, I can't think, there was some wind towers proposed at the northern end of the runway, which completely would have caused pretty much a shutdown.
Shut us down, yeah.
So what we've had done is obstacle limitation surveying done. So it basically means that people just can't go and build something that is going to interfere with the use of the runway. So we've basically protected this site now going forward. So that's what this master plan did.
As an upcoming pilot, what are some things that I should be aware of?
Most circuits are done to the left, and that is the case pretty much anywhere, unless it's been directed that it should be right-hand circuits, which is in fact a rule for this airport, that you're required to have a right-hand circuit on runway 18. And the principle is it's just to keep all of the aircraft away from flying low over the town because of how close we are to it. Other than that, there's probably no special rules here that would affect anyone turning up. And a lot of trainee pilots do come here. They fly in and perhaps do a touch and go or a full stop landing. Some with instructors, some on their solo nav train.
So is there any local attractions or like small towns around here?
I love that you've asked that question, because the day that you guys have come in, being a third Sunday of the month, we've actually got our miniature railway, which is, you would have perhaps seen when you flew in, which is just down the track here. We've got what we call the Racecourse Reserve area where this airstrip is built as part of. And there's a heap of community attractions within this precinct. So we've got a big go-kart track next door to us, which I can't hear them going today, but that is used for state events. Like, it's such an amazing track that we have state events there, lots of practice days, and a lot of, because F1 Formula races, they usually come from a go-kart background, as you know. We've also got a beautiful walking trail. It's about 1 kilometre around Lake Cobden, which is, by the locals, it's known as the dam. And just for a little bit of knowledge, that the dam, we'll call it the dam because I feel like we're good enough to say that with you guys, that's how Cobden was founded. So back in the 1840s, there was a Scottish settler by the name of Dr. Daniel Curdy, and he found that as a watering hole, and he thought, wow, this is a pretty cool place. So he named it Lovely Banks, and it wasn't until a little while later that they realised that that name was already being used in another country, overseas in another European country. So in early 1860s, it was surveyed, the township was surveyed, and it got called Cobden, which he named it Cobden after a politician by the name of Richard Cobden. Now, I don't think I made that up. That's pretty true.
After finishing our interview, unfortunately the go-kart track was closed to the public today. A bit of a shame because we were pretty excited about that. But if you have your own go-kart, you can use the track most days.
Luckily, Joe offered to take us on a tour around Cobden in her car. We passed Victoria's oldest and biggest butter factory. Yeah, that's right, the place where your butter is made.
Then we headed to Lake Cobden, a spring-fed water body that attracts local wildlife, including water birds and even a black swan or two.
We also stopped by the War Memorial. Drove past the Camperdown Timberland Rail Trail, which is amazing for long rides with the family, and saw Cobden's vintage rally site.
Our next stop was Cobden Railway Station, where we enjoyed a delicious lunch, including some treats from the local bakery, before hopping on an exciting miniature railway ride. We continued our day at the Cobden Pioneers Park, a place full of local history and fascinating artefacts, showing how people lived and worked in the early 1900s.
Lastly, we visited the first school in Cobden, built in 1870. It was truly amazing to see a real typewriter.
We're going to type now.
And we're going to go back home. Unfortunately, we couldn't do go-karting because it was closed today.
But everything else was really fun.
See you when we land.
At the end of a full day of activities, we said goodbye to the amazing people of Cobden, who had shared stories about the local history. As our plane took off once again, we hope to return to this charming and historic little town during one of their many events to learn more about the beautiful Cobden.
In the next episode, we'll be heading to Barwon Heads Airport, where we'll be catching up with another friend to chat about the airport and learn about this very cool coastal location. Thanks for watching Here We Land.